Okay, so influence in government. First, you have public opinion. This refers to the ideas and attitudes that most people hold about a particular issue or person. The role of public opinion is what helps shape decisions of every president. For example, FDR, I cannot go any faster than the people will let me. Diversity is different viewpoints on different issues. An example, increasing troops by how much, where to get the money to keep troops up, or not increasing troop size. This is an example of where a president will have to make a decision based on public opinion. The mass media. There's different types of media. We have print media, newspapers, magazines, books. We have electronic media, radio, television, internet. Most media are private businesses, and so they are going to do the things that will attract the most viewers. Public agenda, the issues that receive the most attention from government leaders or media, does much to influence public opinion on these issues. So here's some weekly spending. This is from the John McCain and President Obama race back in 2008, and it shows you the difference in spending that they had as far as the weeks of spending for advertising. So up until October, which is about a month before the election, everything's kind of tit for tat. Once you hit October, Obama skyrocketed. He started spending way more in order to be advertised more. Public agenda, immigration. Okay, it's one of the things that is on the public agenda. One of the things that is a hot topic. Media safeguards. Prior restraints, media is free from government censorship before material is published. There's freedom within limits, and we've talked about this before. Freedom of the press, except for libel, you can't print lies, or slander, you can't, say lies or report lies. Government officials must also prove malice, which is evil intent, and that false information was not just a mistake before action can be taken. Okay? They have to prove that someone was damaging someone else's reputation. Protecting sources. 31 states and the District of Columbia have media shield laws to protect reporters from revealing their sources. This makes it where they can protect the people who are giving them information. Regulating the media, the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, regulates stations, cannot censor broadcasts, but can penalize stations who violate the rules. Interest groups. We talked about these yesterday. These are people who unite to promote their ideas. So, for example, the NAACP, they improve the lives of African Americans, now represents women's interest. NRA represents the interest of gun owners. Now, for most of these interest groups, they are getting together in order to influence government. So, interest groups form PACs, or political action committees, and we've talked about these before. The interest groups, like labor unions, corporations, trade associations, for political action committees, form political action committees to collect money from members to support candidates. Lobbying government. So, interest groups use lobbyists to help influence government officials. The lobbyists are representatives of the interest groups, and they will sit down with senators to try and sway them one way or the other. Lobbyists sometimes prepare drafts of bills they want passed. They testify in legislative hearings on bills. They make sure laws are upheld after they are passed. So interest groups use propaganda, and some of those techniques are like the bandwagon, name calling, endorsement, stacked cards, glittering generality, just plain folks, and transfer. We'll talk about which one of these means. But the interest groups use propaganda techniques to promote viewpoints or ideas. They want to make sure that their viewpoint gets across and that it gets passed into a law and accepted. So the bandwagon, it's where people follow popular opinion. You've ever heard, hop on the bandwagon? That's what the bandwagon is. Name calling, it's where you label someone. So like here's a poster where they did some name calling. Endorsement, it's where a famous person endorses a politician or supports a politician publicly. And that is what an endorsement is. For example, Oprah endorsed Obama. Stacked cards, you use a previous record to show or prove that a candidate is qualified. So, for example, when Obama ran, they used his record as a senator in Illinois to prove that he had a track record and that he was doing a good job. Glittering generality, it's just a positive message that doesn't really say anything. So like with Obama's, it was hope or the change we need. With Trump, it was make America great again. Okay? It's just a general slogan or phrase that people attach themselves to. Okay? If you want to talk about one that's more, non-political, like Coke, things go better with Coke, and a lot of things do. Just plain folks. Politicians try to connect with everyday people. So these are all examples of somebody in the White House trying to connect with everyday people. Ronald Reagan riding horses, President Obama helping build a house, President Clinton playing an instrument, Michelle Obama, First Lady, also helping build a house. And then transfer. Politicians use symbols to communicate positive messages. A lot of times it will be associating a patriotic symbol with the candidate. So like George W. Bush was in the Air Force, having a picture of him in his Air Force getup, or presidential running candidate John McCain, or Senator McCain, whichever one you want to call him, having his picture taken while he's giving a speech with the American flag in the background. So regulating interest groups, laws limit the amount of money political action committees may contribute to candidates and have required lobbyists to register with congressional officials who have authority to monitor them. Federal laws require a waiting period before former government officials can become lobbyists, which this happens quite a lot. Politicians will get out of office but then become lobbyists. Pros and cons. The pros, it makes government more responsive. It provides necessary and important services, and it enables Americans to organize and participate in the political system. The cons to interest groups and lobbyists are that lobbyists and interest groups have too much say in government, especially in campaign contributions because of the PACs. It gives them improper influence over politicians because a lot of those politicians want to make the interest groups and lobbyists happy so they can get their money during campaign time. And here are just some political cartoons. Join Latinos for Romney, proof of citizenship is required, or nobody tells me what to do or say, and it's the lobbyist writing this speech for the politician.